treasures, welcome back to another episode here on the Lady Glene Legacy channel. Now, if you're just joining the Legacy family, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. And of course, the popular and loved welcome song, What Have to Do It. So, if you're just joining the Legacy family, before we go any further though, please to hit the subscribe button. Like, guys, it's road to 1K. We need to make 1,000. Come on, treasures. Share with your family, your friends, people who you like, people who you don't like, your church family, every little body, every little youth group you're a part of. Please, please, please share this video. And for all the newcomers, this song is just for you. Welcome to the Legacy family with Lady Glene. Ooh, Lady Glene. Hey, welcome to the Legacy family with Lady Glene. Lady Glene. Oh, ooh. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here with me and you're on this journey. So, as you can see, I kind of came out with my headset today. Yes, I am going in interviewer mode. And this video is kind of like a new aspect of the channel. And this aspect, or what would I say? This feature, I don't really know. If you don't know the word I may look for, I can't find right now because I never write a script. You can comment below and let me know. But this new aspect of the episode is called drumroll author's block. So, as the name suggests, it's a block where authors will be. That's so lame. But anyway, this part of the channel is where I will interview authors. They'll come and they'll talk about their books, their journey of writing, and so on. And just to hear their stories and also to encourage you to buy their books, but give them a speaking platform, kind of a thing, and just have them come and discuss their book and their writing journeys and any advice that they might have for people who want to write books. I have a book that I'm supposed to be working on too. So maybe one day we'll have author's block and I'll be an interviewee. But today we are gonna have a wonderful young lady. Her name is Candicia Pryce, and she is the author of Matters of the Heart. I got my book good look a while now. I don't read it yet, but yes, she didn't date it when she signed it, but I got my book in like 2019. Some of the time I couldn't know say I never buy the book because I got interviewer on my channel. Okay, so the Matters of the Heart, and she's gonna tell us a little about the book and her writing journey and just what inspired her to write this book. I hope that you will love this new episode series, and yeah, thanks for watching. So hey guys, this is Candicia, as I was telling you earlier on, author of Matters of the Heart. Hi Candicia.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hello, Lady Glene.
Ooh, you call that nicey?
Good. Oh yes. I am rolling the L. Yes. I am doing well, giving God thanks, in spite and despite of everything, pandemic, etc., but giving thanks.
Nice. You look pretty.
Thank you.
And I like your earrings, as I was telling you earlier.
Thank you.
I used the eyebrow
I saw
on
them
fleek.
and thought of you.
Go ahead and show us that ring. Fix that earring again and show us that ring.
Yeah.
the other hand.
Yeah. It's here, Yes.
So, Candicia, welcome to my channel. It's your first time here. I'm happy that you're
Yes.
here. Go ahead and tell us. Who is Candicia? Tell us about yourself.
Okay. But I feel like I'm in an interview, as in job interview. Who are you?
Well,
Where?
this is Author's Block.
Okay. Candicia is, as you said, an author. But first and foremost, she is a child of God, a believer in Jesus Christ. I have been saved now for about over 10 years now. Actually, this will be about 12 years this December.
Thank the Lord for keeping you, girl.
Amen. I'm a little young though, but boy, yeah, I'm old. But
you are young, whatever.
I am, as I said, a believer in Christ, saved for about 12 years now. I am a worship leader at times.
At times.
I am involved in different things ministerial wise. I am a trained teacher. So I've actually been in a classroom for on and off for about 7 years now.
All right, teacher.
So that's a little fun fact there. And yeah, I think that's most of it.
All right.
And I'm engaged.
Yes, to be married. Shanda Bahai. Yes, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Young people must married. We love to see it. Young women in the kingdom must married. Married and done. Yes, I hear one songwriter say.
Amen.
So, how did we meet, Candicia?
Boy, let me think. Yes.
I think it was on social media.
Yes,
I don't remember. I don't remember how. I don't remember who messaged who or what was that about. But I remember that it was on social media. So
yes,
social media is a place where we come to connect. And listen, it would be nice. I have to insert this because I don't know if you realize these days that everybody who reaches out to you on social media now, they want to connect with you for some business venture.
Yup. Oh yes, it is known.
Please spare us. It becomes overwhelming, you know. It becomes overwhelming. But anyway, let us
social media social.
Yeah, like I mean, you can use it for business, but you don't want it to be overwhelming for people. You know? Yeah. It's supposed to be a social place, somewhere light and fun and nice and thing. But let us not waste any time. Welcome to Author's Block, and you're my first guest actually on the Author's Block. Yes, you are.
I
am.
You are. Okay, yes, thank you.
You are welcome. So, I mean, when we think about authors and people writing, the first question that I want to ask you is what inspired you to write a book?
Okay. Well, I've always loved writing. I've always had a love for writing. I still have a love for writing. But I never really thought that I would write a book per se, because when you think of persons who write books, you think, boy, they're probably some PhD and some 20 years in some field, and so but what inspired me to write the book was really instructions, from the Lord, pertaining to this specific book here, and just the Lord speaking to me more about, writing and getting stuff out there. So that's where the inspiration to write the book came from.
Okay, but what gave you the clarity? Because, for example, I can talk about myself. There are so many topics that I can write about and I want to write about that I don't even know. I don't know which one to start with first. So you find that I have a lot of unfinished things because I don't know. So how did you get clarity on what to write about concerning this book?
Okay, so first of all, writing the book itself, I it was really a struggle to write the book itself
Mm-hmm.
because I was really battling a lot of self-doubt. I was like, well, who wants to hear me? Who wants to read anything that I write?
Mm-hmm.
Or who am I to be saying I am going to write a book and I am putting book of me? Me, who is even going to read this thing? So it was really a battle to even begin the book, the writing process. But what really pushed me was really the Lord's assurance, that this is something that He wants to be said. Or these are things that He wants to be said. These are issues that He wants to address. So it was
Mm-hmm.
really God Himself pushing me, because if it was up to me, the book would would have not been written. But I thank obedience in that way.
Okay, so that means the instruction was clear on that you're to write and clear on what to write about. All right, so maybe I need to go to God now and say, God, of all these things where you have me a write about, which one you want me to write about right now? Because I think that's where my struggle is. And I think it's a struggle of many
Mhm.
persons who desire to write. There are so many things that they could write about, and so not
Yes.
sure where to start or what to write about. So, for those who are Christians, ask the Lord, He will tell you. All right.
Amen.
So, matters of the heart, though. And I love your cover, by the way. Let me show the people. I
Thank
think it's really
you.
nice.
Chose it myself.
Say that again.
No, I said I chose it myself. I'm
This is
very picky when
lovely.
it comes to artsy stuff.
Okay,
So
nice,
yes, it has
nice,
to. Mhm.
nice. So, the title, what inspired the title? Like, what? Because one of the things they tell you about when you're writing is that, yes, it's good to have good content, but you must have a title that grabs people. The title is probably the first thing that somebody who walks in a bookstore or so will see. So, what gave you this title and even just the artwork? Tell us a little bit about that part of the process.
Well, regarding the title was actually the first thing I heard. Even before I knew what the book would entail itself, I heard the title. I heard Matters of the Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I heard that, I was really saying, well, God, what is this? Or how am I going to go about this? How am I going to gather information to really match this title? But the title
Mm-hmm.
was actually very easy. That was the first thing that I heard before any content, any topic, anything. The title was the first thing that I heard. So I quickly wrote down the title and, went into some more prayer, which is very important, especially when you're writing a book that is, centered around spiritual matters. It's very important to seek the Lord on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I continued to seek the Lord, and then the content itself came after. So the title aspect of it was pretty easy. Read the design of the cover. As I said before, I have a very artsy side of me. Most persons don't know, but I
Mm-hmm.
do flyers and posters and things like that. But not gonna, I would
Grand
do it if you
scale.
asked me to do it.
Okay.
And yeah, so persons have come to me a lot of times quarreling, you should charge for this, etc. But it's just a passion. So I love art, anything artsy,
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So
Well,
I
for all the
chose
people who
the
are going to come to you because they've watched this and now know you're gonna charge them. Yes, we're not saying you're not to give
Lord
away
help
some
me.
free labor, but let us talk about it. You're getting married soon. You understand? You'll have a husband and a home to take care of, and so it
Yes.
would be really nice if you put a price on it and offer it as a service. Yes, you can do some freebies every now and again, but yes, miss.
Yes.
Because we don't want to
Yes. It's
talk about
a
the saints who will just take. We're not gonna go
oh
there
yes.
because we're talking about matters of the heart, so we don't want to go off topic. So how
But
long
yes,
did it?
it was pretty easy.
Okay, good. How long did it take you to write the book? Tell us about that writing journey. The how you feel, how you felt rather while writing. Just bring us along, take us along that journey.
Okay, the writing journey was a very difficult one,
How long was the journey, by
actually.
the way?
Um, it took me it took me about 9 months or so, almost a year, to write the book. And what I did, I wrote it by hand first,
Mm,
and probably about the final chapter and just to tweak some stuff, I typed that in. But I actually wrote it by hand.
okay.
Different papers. If I went anywhere, I had books with me or paper with me in case anything, in case I'm inspired to write. So I actually wrote it down.
Oh,
But
you're
the
one of those
process of
persons too. You prefer to write with a pen or so
that
than to
time,
type. I am like that too, because even with my journals, my I write, I don't type. So yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm.
yes. So at that time, that's what I did. But I must say, sometimes inspiration did not come easy. The discipline to write as well, it did not come easy because at that time I was very busy,
Mm-hmm.
up and down. Well, you know me, Glenn, at times. So I'm up and down doing something, ministry wise or whatever. So the discipline to write was a real challenge at that time. And sometimes, honestly, I was just lazy to write. I couldn't bother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so procrastination was an issue at that time. Just having that obedience to get up and write. And I've heard persons who say that they've written a book in like a month and they get up every day and write. And I say, yes, man, the Lord has given you grace. Because it was
I
not
need some
so
of that
far.
grace right now. I need some of that
Yes,
grace.
but oh yes, I need some right now for these books that I'm writing.
I'm
But
telling you.
it was a very difficult process. Not only the writing aspect of it, but really um having to gather the information to go into the book. A lot of it was given by divine inspiration, divine revelation, and really finding things that connected in the scripture. And there were parts of it that were written, based on experiences that I had and
Mm-hmm.
based on things that I myself had, overcome and all of that. So it was a difficult process. And with writing, and I know this is something that writers know, it's a very vulnerable process because,
Yes.
especially writing books like these, when books are not academic, when you're writing spiritual books or self-help books or whatever, and you put yourself into it, and it's really vulnerable because you share your experiences, you share, parts of yourself that probably didn't even mention to anybody else, and yet you're a book for thousands, for millions to read
Right.
all up in your business and all of these things. So
Right.
it's a really vulnerable process. And if you are, if anybody is deciding to get into this writing thing, you have to be able to be transparent. You have to be able to open up and don't just write what you know, but write what you have been through, what you have overcome. Somebody wants to hear your story as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, as I said, a very difficult process. I had to revisit some stuff. I had to go back to some parts of myself that I really had closed off. I had to deal with some issues in order
Yes.
to write about some issues.
Because that was
So
going to
the
be
the
my
process
next
is
question.
interesting.
That was going to be my next
Yes.
question. How did writing this book help you, reveal you, heal you? Because I mean, it's about the matters of the heart, and all of us have some matters of the heart.
Yes. Yes, man. It was a very transparent process. I really had to look within myself, and I wouldn't say anything that I wouldn't want, or I would not open up myself in a way that I wouldn't want somebody else to open up themselves. But yeah, the process was very interesting, and at that time, um when the Lord told me to write the book, I'm telling you, I had a lot of material, I would say, personally to write, because I was just, healed from a lot of things there that God wanted me to include in the book as well. And I didn't really want to include it because I was saying, God, you give revelation already, maybe I'll just put that in there. But
Mhm.
God really wanted transparency in this book and in this matter.
Okay. Boy, for those who are listening, you are hearing some tips from Candicia when it comes on to writing spiritual books and writing self help books. It is a process that you have to be vulnerable. You can't just put down facts on the paper. Your readers want to engage with you, they want to feel you, and so on. So, give us a summary of what Matters of the Heart is about, and then you can go ahead and tell us perhaps what was the most difficult chapter for you to write.
Okay. Matters of the Heart
Mm.
is a book, as it says, about matters of the heart. It deals with heart issues. In the introduction, I said that it deals with life's heart attacks.
Mm.
It looks at some of the things that, as believers and even non-believers, that we might be struggling with as it
Mm.
relates to the heart. And it shows us how important the heart is, not only on an emotional level, because sometimes we think about heart and we say, well, emotion, but it's not just emotion.
Mhm.
How the heart is actually connected to your health, how the heart is connected to your mind and your way of thinking, your
Mhm.
way of being, your way of interacting, how it affects your relationships,
Mhm.
how it affects your perspective on even life and some of the things that you go through, the cycles that occur. It speaks a lot about that. So it's, as I said, a book to really open you up, show you to yourself, you know, let you really examine yourself and say, well, probably these are things that I need to fix, or this is a direction that I need to go.
Mm.
Um, so that is really the book in a nutshell, part one, in a nutshell.
Yes, I noticed. I saw volume one. I know that the
Boy.
book is not written in like regular books where you would see like chapter one or so on, but there are different, like what I would call subheadings then for
Yes.
want of a better word, what subheading would you say was the most difficult for you? Oh, I see a part that says chapter 4, the heart and religion. So
Yes.
you have chapters, but a lot of sub chapters,
That.
subheadings. Yeah. So
Yes.
what subheading or
Hmm.
chapter was most difficult for you? And tell us
Yes.
why.
Okay, so the book has about 4 chapters.
Mm.
There's looking at the heart, which is really an introduction. The heart and money, hot topic.
May I tell
the heart,
you?
why? The heart and forgiveness, and also a message to leaders.
Mm,
So these are some chapters in the book, and as Glenn said, there are different subheadings there as it
mhm,
relates to the different chapters. I think one of the chapters that has been, I wouldn't say it has been most difficult for me to write, but
mhm.
it has been the one that I've heard the most feedback from.
Okay.
And the one that persons will come and say, boy, this is the one that really blessed me,
Mm,
is really the chapter about forgiveness.
mm.
Um, it's one of the longer, because the first one is really the longest, but it
Yes,
is one of
chapter
the long
3,
chapters in the book. Mm-hmm.
the heart and
So
forgiveness.
yes, and this really looked at some things, I would say, that we haven't really spoken about as it
Mm,
regards forgiveness. As believers, we hear it, you must forgive your neighbor. It is the Christian thing to do. But something that I find that happens a lot in the church is we tell people what to do, but we don't tell them how to do it, right?
yes, yes.
We tell them, yes, man, you must forgive your neighbor, or yes, man, you must tithe and give offering, and you must come to church. And
Mhm.
persons know that they're supposed to do it, but because they don't have that foundation as to the why,
Or the
it
how.
causes, or the how,
Mhm.
it really causes some issues. So I don't only speak about, if you notice in the book, I don't just speak about the different heart issues, but I give the how,
Solution.
right? Or the
Yes.
why, the
Mm,
solution to the issue as well. Forgiveness, one of the things that I spoke about is really looking at overcoming unforgiveness by uprooting some things. I spoke about how sometimes we deal with it in a sense that if you look at a tree, we cut off the leaf, or we cut off the branches, and we think that the tree is okay, or we think
mm.
that the problem is fixed. But in reality, if we don't uproot that thing,
Mm.
it,
It will
it
grow
it
back.
will cause problems
Mm,
and it will go back. It will cause problems in the long run. So what
mhm.
we see happening are believers who have put band-aids on situations, and they think, yes, man,
That
I
they're
forgive
healed and
Glenn.
that they're forgiven.
Yes,
Yes.
I see Glenn every day and I say hello to Glenn. Of course I
Yes.
forgive Glenn. But if Glenn ever say one thing,
It triggers something greater.
yes, if Glenn ever says one thing that is so tiny and so insignificant to Glenn, and probably in reality wouldn't even cause a problem.
But because there was an
That's the
underlying
person.
issue, the root of the
Yes.
issue is still there. Mm.
So the root of the issue is still
Oh,
there,
you
and this
come
is
from
one of the
country
things
where the
that we.
little saying say something I need a pressure bust pipe or something like a so.
Girl, I don't know. But I know the pressure bus type 1.
Or
I'm bad
something
at
about
saying.
the straw that broke the camel's back
The
or hair
camel's
or
back. Yeah,
something.
yeah.
All the
So a lot of persons
couple,
are
drop
there.
it in the comments. Let us know the correct terms because we have an
I
idea, but
want to
we're
hear it.
not too sure.
So
Mhm.
yes, so this is one of the issues that we do speak about. How to uproot that root of unforgiveness. It
Yeah.
talks about the seed of it. and how everything was a seed before it even became a root, you
Mm,
know. And it also speaks about in that little part of the chapter how when that tree grows and
mm-hmm.
it bears fruit, the fruit itself becomes corrupted.
Yeah,
So we
bitter.
have
Mm,
persons, yeah, we have persons, they are gifted, they can sing, they can preach, they can prophesy, but when
but
you take the
bitter.
fruit from the tree,
Mm-mm.
bite the fruit,
Bad
worms come in
fruit.
your mouth,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So, and this comes from just that little thing, that little seed of offense or seed of hurt that takes root, that flourishes, that bear fruit.
And that
You
was
see?
watered over the years
And that
because
was watered.
there was a seed of rejection or hurt or pain, and then over
Yes.
the years other persons kept on doing similar things,
Yep.
and so it watered that one seed that has now become this giant tree.
Yep.
You are
And
not
this,
lying
yes,
at
yes.
all. You are not lying. And it's so
Yes, yes.
important. I really want you guys to get the book, and especially if you are struggling with hurt or issues of the heart, I want you to get the book. I want you to read it. I am still reading it because I have a habit of starting books and not finishing. I have a whole shelf of
I have a
books
whole lot too,
that
girl.
I have started and I have not finished. But don't worry, I have my little thing that I mark the page that I am at. But Candicia, one of the things I really love about this book, is how it started. Just before she went into any details, she had a prayer. And I think that
Yes.
is so important. And I'm just gonna give you all a little piece to whet your appetite, but I really want you to go get the book. But one of the things, one of the prayers or prayer points is that remove from me, this is a prayer that we're praying to God, remove from me any heart of stone, anything that might want to block your transformational powers in my life. And I think these prayer points are at the right place in the book, because the truth is we reject anything that wants to deal with our heart issues. And we
Yep.
like to, when we hear the issues, we like to look and say, I see that in a Lady Glene. I see that in a
Yeah.
Candicia. And so we point it out in other people, but our hearts know we reject it because our hearts have become stone. And so I really love that at the beginning, before you get into the meat of the matter, before revealing us, because as we read, we're going to see our own issues in the book. You are
Yes.
praying, you have prayer points, and you're saying, Lord, remove from me heart of stone.
Yes.
And anything that might block your transformational power. And I think that's so powerful. And we're not going to give away any of the nuggets that are in the book. But Candicia, if you could tell us one thing that is in the book that you would want somebody to get, like if they don't get anything else from the book, what is one thing that you would want them to get from this book?
Yes. I will say as well that there are prayer points all throughout the book.
Mm-hmm.
After every chapter, there are prayer points, and
Nice.
read the intro prayer there. What happens is sometimes we receive information, but we know the parable falls on stony ground, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
information is there to bless you, but because you're hard and you're closed off, you don't receive it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very important, not only with my book, with any material spiritual related. If you're
All the
reading it,
Bible,
pray first.
even
Yes,
the
you have to
Bible. Yes.
pray first that your
Mm-hmm.
spirit is open to receive what's there.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one thing one thing that I would say that I would want person to take away from reading this book is to know how important their well-being is, how important dealing with these issues as it relates to the heart is. It is very important. Sometimes we put or the things that we're going through aside, because we don't see it as significant. I know if one day, God forbid, one of your hands stop moving, you would run to the doctor to get that checked up, because that's something that you use daily. Your
Mm-hmm.
heart is something that you use. It's something that you need
Daily
to
too, yes.
function.
From it
If
flows the issues.
I was just about to say that even the Bible tells us to guard our
Yeah.
heart. And I was looking at that word guard. That means that there will be things to come to try to
That you
infiltrate
ought to
and try
reject,
to
yes.
stop and try to
Mm-hmm.
mess you up. The Bible said didn't say close the doors to your heart so nothing harms you. It said guard your
Guard
heart. Your
it,
heart
yes.
will be open, but not to an extent that you're hurt or offended or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Or even,
very
or even
important.
it should act like there should be like a doorway where
Yes,
when anything you watch what coming in, and you say all
yes,
right,
yes.
this nothing come in, and then you say
Yep,
all right, this one can come in. So it's not a thing
yes.
where you have some people, boy, because of hurt them just lock
Yes,
them heart,
close.
turn the key, throw
Mm-hmm.
away the key, but that's not how God intended for it. Because
Yes,
remember now, as I'm speaking, this is what's coming to me. It says from it flows the issues, flows,
has to be
flows.
open.
And so if something
Yeah,
is gonna flow, then there must be a way or
yes,
somewhere for it to flow. So it should not be closed. It should be guarded.
yes.
Continue,
Should
woman
be
of God.
guarded.
Yes.
Yes, so it's well, I was finished really just to say that
Okay.
it's very important to as you said, guard your heart,
Mm,
deal with these issues as they arise. Don't let the seed become a tree, then the tree bear fruit.
mm,
Because what happens with that as well, not only is the fruit bad, but it starts to affect those that are connected to you, those who eat of that fruit, those who come
right.
and shade under that tree.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't notice the bitterness when it comes out, but
Mm-hmm.
then you want somebody else. You don't notice, the hurt that comes out, or the meanness or unkindness that comes out, but
Yes.
because persons are connected and eating from the fruit are connected to the tree, they too are
Mm-hmm.
affected. So it's very important, whether Christian or non-Christian. Listen, everybody goes through these heart issues. They can save or
Yes.
unsavor, atheist
And still
or
could I
Hindu.
speak a manner
All.
of tongues, little more prophesy, little accurate.
Yes.
Mm.
We all, whether you're in the pulpit, whether
In
you're
the
sleep,
pew,
whether you're outside the church and listen to the
when
sermon
you
and do
clean
that
the
for
church,
yes,
I lead praise and worship.
everyone goes through these issues. So it's very important. The heart is a vital organ in the body
Yes.
physically. And
Yes.
likewise, it's vital for you spiritually, financially, all the alleys. So I think
Yes.
it's time that we really pay attention, um, our heart matters. Amen.
Amen. And of course, because you spoke earlier about providing solutions, I want you to give our listeners, viewers, and even myself, give us one practical way how we can, you know, help the issues of our hearts. One practical way that we can help our own selves. Because
Help
I won't
yourself.
if I hurt out a road, I won't if
Oh
I hurt out a
yes.
road.
Oh
Um,
yes. Oh
so
yes.
we're not giving all away the secrets. We're not giving this all the secrets away, right? But just give us um one practical way that we can do this, and then after you tell them where they can get your book, where they can follow you, and so on.
Okay. Well, one practical way that we could deal with our heart issues is
Mm-hmm.
to simply acknowledge that we have heart issues.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as it sounds. One of the practices that I have personally is whenever I have an issue, even though I pray about it, I speak to God about it separately. God is the first person to hear. I come to Him transparent. God, I feel this way because, Glenn came to me today, God, and Glenn said something, and I feel this way. Lord,
Mm-hmm.
why do I feel this way?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something within me? Is it something that I need to work on?
Mm-hmm.
Go to God and confess. Go to God and speak to Him. Acknowledge the issues. Don't ignore it. Don't push it aside. Acknowledge it with yourself first. Acknowledge that, well, this is something I'm feeling offended. But why am I feeling offended? Is it something that the person did? Or is it some deep issue within me?
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledge it. So I think that is the best thing I could say, re addressing the heart issues. Acknowledge that there's an
Mm-hmm.
issue. Be transparent with yourself. Don't lie to yourself and say,
Yes.
well, I forgive her, man. I forgive her. It's her. She
Mm-hmm.
is behaving like that. The found when me forgive her, lie. Yeah, tell yourself, stop it. So be transparent with yourself. If you know there's an issue, address the issue first with yourself. If you need any counseling or you need anything outside of yourself, fine, get it, but be truthful, be transparent to yourself and God first.
Yeah. Because the truth is, we'll only accept external help when we
Yes.
have really acknowledged that something is wrong with us. Because pain, offense, is a signpost that something is wrong. Similarly to if you break your hand, you're going to feel pain, and it's a sign that something is wrong and needs to be addressed. So tell us, where can we get your book? Can we get it on Amazon? What? Let us know.
Okay, so yes, you can get my book on Amazon currently. The paperback version. There's an issue with the paperback version, so that one is not up right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll try and get that up. Well, probably be up by the time you're watching this. But we'll the paperback version up. Physical copies, signed copies, you can DM me and I will speak to you. Read that. You can follow me on Instagram at Candy Remnant Price, on Facebook at Candy Endtime Remnant Price. And you can follow my pages, Christ Inspirations. We have a lot of programs centered around, matters of the heart and things like that. So you can follow those pages as well.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say my copy was signed. Okay.
Here, Glenn, no?
Just letting
I'll
y'all
sign
know.
the copies. I will sign the copies. No problem.
Awesome.
When part 2 comes out, we'll do a launch and I will sign the copies. Part 2 is coming out soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Candicia, for being here. It's Author's Block with Candicia Pryce with Matters of the Heart. Please go follow her on Instagram, Facebook, buy her book if you are currently having issues with your heart, unforgiveness, offense, hurt, pain, bitterness, you don't know how. This is the book for you to get, and I'm sure that it will help you. Candicia, thank you for being my first guest here
Thank you.
on Author's Block. And guys, listen, why hold on, why you still not subscribed yet? Subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop a comment and let us know if you're gonna get the book, one, and just what stood out from the conversation here today. Until next time, bye.
Bye.